In this video, we're going to show the process of creating a flow in Salesforce for the purpose of recreating automation to push Marketo measure or visible touch point data to the lead or contact record in Salesforce. On the screen, you'll see what the final flow looks like, and we're going to show the process of recreating this from scratch. So when I go to the flows setup area of Salesforce, I'm going to select new flow. This is going to be from scratch, and this will be a record triggered flow. We'll begin by selecting our trigger object, which in this case is going to be visible touch point. We're going to update when a record is created or updated. And we're going to say any condition is met. We're going to specify 4 criteria. So first, we're going to evaluate the marketing channel field on the touch point, and we're going to say that this value is not empty. Next, we're going to evaluate touch point source field on our touch point. Again, we're going to say that this is not empty. Or we're going to evaluate again our marketing channel field. And we're going to say that this value was changed. And the same condition for our touch point source is changed is true. So it's either updated to a value that is not empty or it is changed. And we're going to run this flow every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirements. And we're going to have the option of actions and related records. And we're not going to select the checkbox for run asynchronously at the bottom. So now we have our touch point trigger defined. We're going to then add a decision element for assessing the touch point position. So the first one we're going to do is check to see if the touch point is in the first touch position. We're going to name our outcome has first touch position. Our conditions to be met are based off of the triggering record. And we want to look at the touch point position value. We're going to say that this contains FT for first touch. And we're going to execute the outcome if the condition requirements are met. We're going to name our default outcome as no data value change. Once that decision element has been created, we're now going to create an update records element. And in this case, we're going to update our marketing channel for first touch. We'll update this record. We'll update records related to the visible touch point record that triggered the flow. And we're going to identify, based on the person ID associated with the touch point, the lead record. Of course, you could also select contact and update records on the contact object. But in this example, we're going to be updating fields on the lead object. We're saying we're going to update all related records. We're going to be identifying or updating the marketing channel field based on the triggered record, which is the visible touch point. And we want to grab the value from the touch point marketing channel. Now at this point, I could also update additional fields within a single update records element. I could, for example, I could update my touch point source field here in the lead, again, by referring to the touch point source field on the touch point record. But for the sake of our example, we're going to update just one field per update records element, just for some visual clarity in the example. Once I've specified the criteria for updating my marketing channel field, I'm now going to add a new update records element. In this case, we're updating the touchpoint source. Again, we're going to trace back based on person ID, update associated lead record. And update the touchpoint source based on the visible touchpoint source. Then we're going to add a new decision point to evaluate the lead creation position. So we'll name this lead creation position check. We'll name our outcome as lead creation position. For our conditions, we want to evaluate the touchpoint position containing LC, the lead creation. And we also want to make sure to evaluate that the touchpoint position does not equal post LC, because there are touchpoints created with the touchpoint position of LC for lead creation, and there are other touchpoints created with the position of post LC. We don't have an option for does not contain, so we're going to say contains LC but does not equal post LC to try to zero in on lead creation touchpoints that are not post lead creation. Once that decision element has been defined, we're then going to create another update records element, similar to what we did with first touch. In this case, we're going to update the marketing channel for our lead creation touchpoint. And track back based on person ID, update the lead record. We're going to be updating that marketing channel field based on triggering record marketing channel value. And again, I could add additional fields to be updated here at the same time, but for the sake of visual simplicity and clarity, we're going to add a new update record element, update the touchpoint source for lead creation. Based on the person ID associated with the touchpoint, we're going to update their associated lead record. Going to update the touchpoint source field based on the triggering records touchpoint source value. And one final touch, we're going to add end elements over here. And now we can see what our fully composed flow looks like. We'll compare it to our original model here, and we can see that we've rebuilt this entire flow. Of course, what is left is to do testing and activation of this flow. And of course, as always, anytime creating a flow in Salesforce, be sure to review this with your Salesforce administrator to make sure that this flow doesn't interfere with other flows or other processes in your systems. And of course, this is an example or a model to follow, but this specific flow can be customized to meet your organization's needs.